What's good, everybody? I'm going to be talking about Archeops, or Archeops, however you want to say it, probably Archeops. Before I even get into my typical intro, I'm actually quickly going to just address that no, Archeops was not nerfed, despite that little red -17 and that red -20 attack with the abilities Hustle and Reckless. Archeops is significantly stronger than it used to be, not even considering the move buffs and changes and the buffs and changes to Hustle and Reckless and all the new moves that work with those abilities. I'm not even going to get into that yet. Just on paper, the 1.2 times boost from Reckless is significantly stronger than 140 base attack, which is what Archeops used to have. For proof, I'll quickly do the math before I get into my typical intro. If you are new here, typically I do a little bit of an intro where I talk about the fact that all the moves are buffed and changed in this hack, and you should check out my very detailed Google Sheet in the description below. So I recommend you do that if you are new here. I just wanted to get that out of the way because I know people are going to see it and think, oh my god, he nerfed Archeops. Obviously, no, it is. I would never do that. There's no more defeatist, first of all, so that alone justifies the attack drop. And then, of course, he is literally stronger. So here, I'll put it into context. 140 attack hits 379. And that's with, 379. Okay. And now 120 hits 339. But if you do 339 times 1.2, you hit 407 actually, 406.8. 406.8 attack, which is like 154 base attack, roughly. Okay, so he essentially gained 14 plus attack when he uses recoil moves, and then 14 base attack, of course. And then with Hustle, it is absolutely astronomical. His attack stat is massive. It is 508, which is like, yeah, over 200, 205 base attack, okay, with Hustle. And Hustle is no longer the lackluster ability it used to be. It was never actually bad in my opinion. They just gave it to shitty Pokemon for the most part, besides Durant, who was the GOAT. We love Durant, but Hustle is incredible in this hack because there's tons of new moves that essentially, like Aerial Ace used to, although Aerial Ace actually still does. It's just a priority move now, which I'll get into. If you click this little link, you can check out all the Hustle moves that Archeops has access to. He's also a lot faster, by the way. I didn't mention that yet. That's just because speed in general is a lot higher in this hack. Not a lot higher, but you know, a good amount higher. Why is this not loading properly? Whatever, I'll just ignore the Pokemon on top, it's fine. Normally there's supposed to be more up there, but it's fine. Archeops has access to Stab, Accelerock, Stab, Aerial Ace, and Stab and non-Stab First Impression, but of course First Impression is very strong, and it's a TM. Accelerock and Aerial Ace are starting moves that you'll have, and all three of those will not miss with Hustle, okay? So you don't have to worry about any attack drop, you can run any item. Not to mention, Wide Lens in general is buffed. Wide Lens now gives you a 15% accuracy boost, so even something simple like, I don't know, do a Wing Beat, or whatever, that's like your reliable flying type stab move in this hack, 100% accurate, 45 base power per hit, whatever. With no drawback. It's just a great move. With Wide Lens and Hustle, that's 92% accurate. So you're hitting 200 plus base attack, and you're only trading 8% accuracy. And of course, we are trading a held item, which could be a different boosting item. That's why you could later on, once you get access to the recoil moves, if you like Reckless or you want the recoil moves specifically, then you run that. However, Hustle has a lot of advantages over Reckless, a lot of advantages, and Reckless also has some advantages over Hustle. It really just depends on what you need. Even if you're not using Hustle, like even if you're not using any recoil moves, Reckless still might have utility over Hustle because 120 base attack is already good. You don't need 140 to get a lot of KOs for certain boss fights, because this hack, envision it almost like Draft League, at least if you're playing with the trainer documents, which is what I had balanced the hack around. Say you're doing a Nuzlocke or something. You can use that to prepare for trainer fights. Keep in mind you do have access to infinite usability capsules, by the way, so you can easily cycle between Reckless Hustle, depending on the occasion. You're not always going to need that attack boost. Even if you're not running recoil moves, it's still nice to not have to miss. Of course, with Hustle, a lot of moves in general in this hack are much more accurate. There's a little guide there on the ability guide. I believe it's in the Sixth Sense / Luminescent section for those two abilities. You could check out all the inaccurate moves in the hack and see how those, see the fact that there's like not that many anymore. Most moves are like 85% accurate above, and most are even 90 or 95. But and of course, most are 100. You understand what I'm trying to say. The moves that were inaccurate before are no longer inaccurate. But I'm getting very sidetracked. My point is that he has priority moves, and then he also has U-turn, which is great with Hustle. That will not miss. That's a great option to just, get that pivot out, utility move, and it's also very strong. And then you have Sky Attack, which is incredible. Keep in mind that Z moves in general don't miss, by the way. So Z Head Smash or something is an absurd nuke, I'd be like, see, it has like 220 base power now, 210, something like that. So you can really just go to fucking town with like your Z moves. Those will not miss. But also Sky Attack is kind of like a pseudo Z move, and it doesn't even take your Z Crystal because Sky Attack is now 120 base power, and it always crits, and it has a 30% flinch rate still, and it can't miss with Hustle. So essentially you have a 120 times 1.5, it's 180 with the crit, and then you add another 1.5 from Hustle, 270 base power. All right, it's very strong. Sky Attack, very, very good, and it also bypasses stuff like Intimidate and stat boost on the opponent's side. So that's especially good for totems and stuff. If they have a boost, you could just crit right through it. Slap on a power herb. Obviously, it's not going to be that easy. I always make it sound like it's going to be a lot easier than it is, but the hack will be relatively difficult. So a lot of stuff that you might think would be really easy or free will not be. But if you're smart about it, you can still get off crazy stuff and just go unga bunga and click buttons. But yeah, other good hustle stuff is Skull Bash. Skull Bash is great. That gives you +1 accuracy, +1 attack, and +1 defense now. And it always crits. And it doesn't miss with Hustle. Obviously, all of these moves don't miss with Hustle. You also have stuff like Reversal, which is nice. But Skull Bash is especially good because same with False Strike. Both of those moves will give you accuracy because you can use your regular moves after and not have to worry about missing them anymore. So that's really useful. You can use Power Herb Skull Bash. Get the defense moves isn't that big a deal, but you could use it to live a certain hit, maybe a first impression or something. And then you mostly get the +1 attack, and accuracy is really nice for Skull Bash. And of course, you deal a lot of damage because it's 90 base power. It always crits, so it's very strong. Then you have False Strike and Finishing Blow, which are really cool. False Strike is essentially Dragon type False Swipe that gives you +1 accuracy and +1 attack. And it's Dragon type, which doesn't matter too much because you're not using that to kill things. You're using it to actually not kill something. And then you can use Finishing Blow and get +3 attack. So you click False Strike, and by the way, all those moves can't miss on the first hit as well. So you click False Strike, you get that +1 accuracy, you get that +1 attack. Then you go with Finishing Blow to finish them off after they're on 1 HP, and you get +4 attack, +1 accuracy, and now you're just killing everything. Obviously, you don't have to run that. Like, it's still relatively situational, but it's a cool option to have nonetheless. Maybe you'll run it for a few boss fights and you'll end up having to delete it because there is no move relearner until the Pokemon League. So you mostly are cycling between your TMs and tutor moves, and then you're keeping a few select level up moves. And of course, it also depends on your playstyle and just what type of stuff you prefer. Man, it lags so much when I'm recording. It's like not going back. Another cool thing I can mention before I talk about Reckless is Rock Polish is also cool. Rock Polish gives you +1 accuracy as well as +2 speed, so you can use your inaccurate moves with Hustle and not miss those either. Home Claws is also great. Home Claws gives you +2 accuracy actually, so you can use inaccurate moves like Stone Edge and Dive Bomb and not miss those either with Hustle. So those are great, and that's really, really cool. Yeah. Okay, so I'm very off topic right now. I think it's a little bit late, but I'm trying to get this video out. Reckless, also great. Reckless has obviously Brave Bird. All of these moves are buffed or changed, by the way. They're slightly beefed up. They have additional effects, and they are 125 base power. The Brave Bird is 125, and then a bunch of other moves are as well, but Archeops' main Reckless moves are actually not 125. So Brave Bird, Flying type, Reckless boosted, of course. Dive Bomb is actually Flying type high jump kick, which is 5 points stronger than Brave Bird, and it doesn't deal recoil. The downside is, though, of course, if you miss that 10% of the time, you are going to take half your HP. So if I were to ever run Dive Bomb, I'm running Wide Lens with Reckless. I am not running anything else. And if I'm running Brave Bird, I'm probably running Shell Bell, because Shell Bell is buffed in this hack to heal you by 20% of your HP, which is great. So Brave Bird only deals 25% recoil. So essentially with Brave Bird, you're only taking 5% net recoil. As for Play Rough, Wall Charge, Rock Climb, and Takedown, which are 4 TM recoil moves that you learn. Rock Climb, of course, being Stab, and those are all 110 base power recoil moves, and they also have nice little additional effects and all this other good stuff. The main benefit there is that Shell Bell completely negates the recoil from those moves. So they go from 110 base power to, I believe, 132, if my math is right. And that's really good. Okay, that's very, very good coverage. And then you have, of course, your Flying Stab with Reckless. And then later on, level 65, which is one of the last moves you learn. Actually, no, the last move, excuse me, is Head Smash. All right, Head Smash, 150 base power. Jesus, the music just stuttered. Drops your defenses by 1, and it gives the same recoil as Brave Bird. So with a Shell Bell, you're only taking 5% recoil. Great move, very spammable. Especially with Shell Bell, because you don't need a power boosting item. I mean, maybe you might need it, in which case then you would have to switch out or Roost Up, and Roosting Up is pretty risky because things are very strong in this hack, so you're probably not going to be able to live a hit very easily. That's another difficult thing about using Archeops. You got to use pivots. You do have the infinite usage eject button. There's a billion tanky Pokemon in the hack with Intimidate, and every Pokemon has Parting Shot and all this other good stuff, so it is a lot easier to get offensive threats onto the field. You just got to be smart about it. However, Fast Priority does check Archeops. He does have the benefit of resisting first impression, though, so he could probably take a non-Ruthless /Technician /Hustle /Stab boosted first impression, you could probably take one. I don't know about a boosted first impression though. You probably still drop to it, all things considered, from a very strong Pokemon. And of course, there's a billion other priority moves. There's a priority move of basically every type. Typically, there's even 2 of every type. So, yeah, he'll definitely be threatened by those still. But overall, great buffs for Archeops. All kinds of great coverage moves, by the way. Also, the special attack stat is still usable. In fact, he gets Nasty Plot now. So, special sets are encouraged because of that. They're not the best thing on the planet because both of your abilities only boost your physical moves. But you know, you could use it. If you got like a plus special attack nature Archeops with really good IVs or something, you know, go ahead and use that special Nasty Plot set. He has pretty good coverage. He's got Earth Power, Heat Wave, Dual Stab, Focus Blast. That's really all you need. So, yeah, pretty cool. A little bit gimmicky, but it's still cool nonetheless. He also gets special moves earlier. He also has Ancient Force, which becomes any type in the game. I did. Oh, by the way, if you listened to my other video earlier, I think it was the Sigilyph one. I said this. I ended up giving Amistar and Cradily and all the other special attacking fossils Ancient Force. So there you go. It's pretty nice for them. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the video off there. I'm probably talking way too much. I try to keep these videos shorter nowadays, but I don't know, a little bit more of a unprofessional video coming out right now, I guess. I wanted to get this one out regardless. So thank you for listening to my rambling. Hopefully you found these buffs interesting. Last thing I forgot to mention, by the way, is Unburden is on Arkin, just because Reckless is useless anyways on him. It's really cool. Hostile 85 base attack is incredibly powerful, and it's over 120 base for sure. Equivalent. You're not gonna be using Arkin for long anyways, probably only about 2 or 3 levels, because by the time you can buy the fossils, it'll be like level 29 or 30 anyways, so you don't get that much leverage out of them, sadly. It would be cool to, I might try to fit him in earlier, but I don't think there'll be room. Yep, that's about it though. Great Pokemon, as always, in this hack. You know, everything's obviously great. Yeah, I'll leave it up there. Sorry, I am super rambly. Hopefully you don't mind. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll be back for more Universe Pokemon coming up. Peace, everybody.